kurang bisan wai jangama kurang bisan ya matrenelo iyan dem marong iyan den jai kai wai iyan dem marong suma iyan dem marong kai wai kurang bisan wai jangama mernala big wajal sumanje ke naise yo ya maton iyan kilime na fonye bang fan tv iyan kilime na fonye bang fan tv iyan kilime na fonye bang.
Good afternoon to the viewers of Fine TV. Welcome back to the program. As I mentioned in the morning, we had the IPRO ministers that want to vie in for positions. That is the IPRO minister position. And in our these other episodes, we will have the SG, that is the Secretary General positions, and they will be here as well to tell us their policies and programs and to tell Edusans why they think they are the best candidates for this position. Without wasting much of your time as viewers, as time is of essence, I'll just allow them to introduce themselves and then we get into the program. Honorable, I'll start with you.
All right, thank you very much, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my opponent, and good afternoon to the viewers, Edusans, and UTG students, and everyone watching. My name is Aliu Sane, commonly known as Mr. Aliu. I graduated from Bansan Senior Secondary School in 2009, where I graduated as best outstanding student for agriculture and geography. And I started teaching in the same year in 2009 in Pakandin Primary School, and then in 2010 I progressed to Gambia College and graduated in 2013. So since 2013, I've been teaching up to date, and I'm a final year student for the level, majoring agriculture and minor in environmental sciences. And I was a former deputy clerk of the fifth legislative body of UTGSU that investigated the missing millions. And I was also part of the chief investigators that investigated the DA, that's Debate Association saga. And I was a former Edusa representative representing Edusa at LB, that's fifth legislative body. And again, I am a tutor, a serial tutor, and a tutor of tutors that tutor over 30 different courses. And currently, I am the vice chairperson of Global G17 for operation of the Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ali, for that brief introduction. We shift the attention to Honorable to also introduce himself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and good afternoon to my brother, Mr. Aliu Sane. I greet you, and good afternoon to our beautiful viewers that are currently watching Fine TV Gambia. My name is Mamadou Sanu Jallo. I am the current Deputy Education and Research Minister of the 14th Executive Council, and currently I am the President of the URR Students Association in the University of the Gambia, and currently I am the Sports Secretary of the University of the Gambia Students Union. I started my schooling in the lonely hills of Basse Santasu. I graduated, to make it very short, I graduated from Nasir Senior Secondary School in the year 2014 and proceeded to the Gambia College in the year 2015 and completed my program, that is HTC in English language, in the year 2018. Since then, I have been teaching in various schools, specifically in the provincial Gambia, and till 2021, I got admitted in the University of the Gambia, where I am majoring in English language and minoring in agricultural science. So that is basically my background, and as the program goes, I think I have more to say, and inshallah, they will come as and when due.
Thank you so very much. They will come as and when due, as you have heard from them. They have also introduced themselves. They have told us their backgrounds, where they attended their schooling and the profession. So you could see these are professionals. These are people that impacted lives. They are teachers. As we all know, teachers are there to impact lives. And we will move on to another set of questions. Mr. Aliu, yes, why politics in Edusa? Why do you involve yourself in politics? That's the question.
Yes, thank you very much once again. As far as this portion is concerned, that is Secretary General, you can only come to this position if you contest, which is politics.
Mhm.
Um, since I started University of the Gambia, that was 2020 to 2021 semester. It was during COVID-19 time. It was online, and then since then I started volunteering, helping students, and I know how students find it to send assignment through online. So that's why I start helping because I have the background of technology. So I do help students. And again, the following semester I defer because of scholarship issue, and then I apply school through Mohas and I got the scholarship. And the following semester, when I come back again, I continue tutoring students because I understand how it takes for some of the fresh students. They find it very difficult. So through that process, I understand a lot of problems that students are facing,
Mhm.
and we created a group chat called Mohas Group
Mhm.
Beneficiary to help students that do not have scholarship. And then this procedure that we pass through, we help students so that they can also get the scholarship. So I was doing that continuously, and then I was recognized by 13 as a council due to my effort. And then I was sent to LB to represent School of Education, the fifth legislative body. And then in that body, I became the deputy clerk of the fifth legislative body, which is similar to that of the secretary general. And I spent 14 months in that body, and I got a lot of experience. So I realized that me being a deputy clerk of the fifth legislative body, serving over 12 sub associations,
Mhm.
that is 11 schools plus DA, we make it 12. So I find it very necessary to come down to Edusa, my own home,
Mhm.
because charity begins at home.
Yeah.
So with all those experience that I gather, and I realized that I cannot just grow it like that without giving that expertise to Edusa.
Mhm.
You understand? So that is the reason why I come down to Edusa as a sub association so that I can, bring out my experience so
Mhm.
that I can also leave legacy, a collective work.
Mhm.
So that is the reason why I'm vying for this position called Secretary General,
Mhm.
because I understand that I have the understanding, I have the logical aspect of it, the rational aspect, the technical aspect,
Mhm.
and again, I have the efficiency and the sufficiency, the proficiency, the competence, the consistency, and the excellency in me to serve Edusa. And because Edusa is my home,
Mhm.
Edusa must not die.
Mhm. Edison must not die. We've heard from him. Yes, Honorable Sanu, the same question. Why politics? And why politics in Edusa?
All right. Thank you so very much. I think the question is straightforward.
Mhm.
It's not what I have done for Edusa. It's why
Mhm.
Edusa. If it is what I have have done
Yeah,
for Edusa,
we will get to that.
yes, I would also add that because
Mhm.
Mr. the honorable man here is more of saying what he has done for Edusa.
Mhm.
But I think the question was why
Why politics?
politics.
Yeah.
Okay, from me, from my own aspect, why politics is I believe every human being, whether at the level of the home
Mhm.
or at the school level or even in the society, man is a political animal by nature
Mhm.
because we take decisions, and in decision making we must be democratic, and democracy is a very very critical aspect
Mhm.
of every society, of every family, and every individual in whatsoever you are doing.
Mhm.
This is why today I am wearing this beautiful orange t-shirt here,
Mhm. Mhm.
talking to the School of Education
Mhm.
as their Secretary General, representing the Student Service Council.
Mhm.
I believe once I come to the University of the Gambia, and as a human being, as a student, politics must take center stage. And for me to have a decision in the political atmosphere, I must participate.
Mhm.
And that should be the responsibility of every genuine individual in every society we are. At the national level, we participate in politics. Globally, we participate in politics. So, it is important, it is prudent, it is vital, it is key that I participate. I also throw my cap in the political arena, not just because I want to be a leader. I am a leader at the community level, at all levels, at all cadres that I work. But at the School of Education, I believe for the decision to be taken and for genuine decisions to be taken,
Mhm.
people must take the responsibility and genuine responsibility to participate in elections,
Mhm.
because these are things that are embedded in the curriculum, not because they just are in the curriculum in black and white. It's because students should practice them. They should be practiced by students.
Mhm.
And I am a student. This is why I threw my cap into the political arena last year, or since I came to the university. Last year I contested, and this year too I am throwing my political cap because I want to learn. Through that, I want to serve. and I have learned, I have understand the political dynamics of the University of the Gambia at large, and Edusa in particular. Everybody that knows me knows Mamadou Sanu Jallo is not a newbie in the political arena, especially in the Gambia, in the University of the Gambia School of Education. So that is the reason why I am into politics. But if you want me to also highlight some of the achievements that I
Yeah,
have made in
that is
Edusa, which
that
I
is
don't
going to be.
fancy much because
Yeah,
I see that as my responsibility to give.
yeah, that
So
is.
I don't fancy talking about what I have done for other people. I I prioritize saying what I can do, and when given the chance, what I will do. This
Yeah.
is what I prioritize.
Yeah, in fact, that is going to be our next
Next
question.
question.
Our next
All right,
question.
all right. Then,
Yeah,
then
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Viewers, you've heard from Mohamed Sanu, and then you've heard from Mr. Aliu. But we realize, Mr. Aliu,
Yes.
that for education students, they are more or less depending on what your previous track record is in terms of the development of Edusa
Yes.
itself. This is how they vet. This is how they measure
Absolutely.
whether you can man this position or not.
Yes.
So this is why it's vital to tell us what have you been doing for Edusans, because Edusans are listening. They want to know who is this man, what has this man doing for us. So what have you done for Edusans?
All right. Thank you very much once again. And Idusans, I greet you once again. As they say, Mr. Ali of all people, by the people, and for the people. That's the reason why they say that.
Mm.
Um, we have priorities,
Mm.
but equally we also have the super priorities. Now, the super priorities for every student at UTJ, more especially School of Education, is advancement of our academic, that's CGPA, that, to have the knowledge.
Mm.
And you ask the question, what I have done. I am not that person who will come and say I will do this, I will do that, I will do this if I'm voted into office. I have been doing it, and tutorial is something that is very very difficult to do. And Mr. Aliu, in my capacity as an experienced in-service student, because I spent 15 years in teaching. Now that alone is not small years. I finished Gambia College in 2013, and I major agriculture and science. And I'm doing agriculture currently and minor in environmental science. I understand educational courses very, very, very well. So I see it necessary to extend my experience by helping students. Not only that, I represented School of Education at LB, fifth legislative body of UTG-FCU. And equally in that body, I serve as the deputy clerk. And Edusans, wherever we go, we represent Edusa. The way we dress, the way we talk, what we do, anything that has to do with Edusa, we represent them. I have represented Edusa at LB. And equally, you must heard about the missing millions from the endowment fund. Two people withdraw the money. I represented Edusa, and as a deputy clerk, I was part of the chief investigators that unveil and bring accountability and transparency by, investigating that matter. And now everyone knows who withdraw the money. Not only that, UTG DA, the Debate Association, I took part in the investigation representing Edusa because I was Edusa representative and equally deputy clerk of the main union. We also unveiled how they mismanaged the fund and our recommendations were there. Another one again, the bus transportation. We heard about there was a case whereby a student fought with the driver, and not only that, forwarded the video to Western Gambia. Character assassination. I was part of the chief investigators representing School of Education and equally the deputy clerk. And I was part of the chief investigator that matter, and we brought recommendation. And the person was banned from entering the bus. And again, we banned the person from taking part in student leadership. That's collective work. And then finally, as a tutor and tutor of tutors, I represent School of Education by tutoring other sub-associations like ASA. By training their tutors. And anyway, as time goes on, I will tell you all about the Mr. Halzon because there are many I cannot finish saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Sanu, the same thing. What have you done for Edusans?
Thank you so very much. Just as I told you, I am not that individual who would want to come out to tell people I have done this for X or for Y. But due to protocols here, I will do my best to tell the audience what I have done for Edusa, things that I can remember and things that are concrete and they are genuine. First of all, representing Edusa at the SU, according to the organogram, there is no one representing Edusa. You go in to in the name of Edusa, but you are representing the whole university as an individual that is in the LB. Because Edusans can come there, and if you are representing Edusa, then the interest of Edusa will come first. So you are not representing Edusa, you are representing the interest of the University of the Gambia once you are there.
Okay.
The other thing is, I serve as the Secretary General of the UTG Sports Ministry. And there I am not representing Edusa, even though I am an Edusan, because where I perform duties and those duties are not up to par, Edusa is not questioned. I am questioned because I am representing everybody. And those who follow the VC championship, you do see my updates. Those updates are not for Edusans. Those updates are for every individual in the University of the Gambia that is a bona fide member. So nobody is representing as a school at the level of the students' union. People are representing everybody that is at the level of the union. Coming back to my track record, for the records, for my first month in the University of the Gambia, I engaged in tutorials. Not because I knew there were tutorials, because I was new. August Jada, if August Jada is watching this program, he can be a witness that I tutored 101 when I was just first student in the University of the Gambia. And that is because of my, let me say, my knowledge or my skills in basic English. I tutored that course. Then from there, I joined this mighty camp, the Student Service Council. I have become one of the most committed member of the 13th Executive Council IPRO Ministry. And for the records, I have coordinated, I have moderated more programs, both at the radio and at the TV, more than even the minister. Honorable Salamin Sane will be watching, and he can attest to this. From the 13th Executive Council, in the 14th Executive Council, I serve as the Deputy Education and Research Minister. He organized tutorials, but we coordinate those tutorials.
That's right.
He was our tutor, with due respect. He was our tutor. We organized the tutorials. The issue of organizing, institutionalizing the tutorial cycle in other schools, it comes from me, my ministry, as the Deputy Education and Research Minister. So those are policies that I and my boss, Honorable Alassane Jai, designed in the Education and Research Ministry for the 14th Executive Council. And there is no single semester since I stepped my feet in the University of the Gambia that I did not tutor more than 2 courses, whether be in education courses or language courses. And most of the courses I tutor are senior courses. They are upper level courses. Again, the Basse Student Teacher Association, I and my minister and one of my committee members, we institutionalize their tutorial and train their tutors on conducting tutorial. And again, the ministry that I serve has it that we achieve 100% of our policies. And the records are there, Edusans are watching, they can go to the records. The only ministry in the history of the University of the Gambia Education Students Association to design policies and achieve all the policies one after the other, and even give supplementary policies, which we achieve. So that is Mamadou Sanu Jallo. Maybe behind the curtains, others might not know. But this is what we are doing behind the screens. This is what we will do when we are in office, and this is what we will continue to do. So Mamadou Sanu Jallo is not a newbie in the political arena, and is not a newbie in serving Edusa. Edusa must not die, and that is what I, Mamadou Sanu Jallo, stood for from the first day I stepped my foot in the School of Education, University of England. And I thank you so very much for asking me that and triggering me to go back to my archives to bring my achievements.
Wow, triggering me to go back to my archive and then bring out the records. You've heard from Mohamed Sanu Jallo and you've heard from Mr. Aliu. Things are getting hotter here, huh? Right? Mr. Aliu, we continue with the questions. We have gone through your introduction and you've told us what you have done for Edusans. That is very clear from the both of you. And again, Mr. Aliu, what qualities do you have that you think these Edusans should make you their Secretary General? What qualities?
All right. Thank you very much once again.
Mm.
I'm enjoying my opponent.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's something that I want to clarify from the statement of my opponent.
Mm.
It's like my opponent does not understand student governance. He said if you are at the main union, you don't represent a school, you represent the whole UTG.
Mm.
He might be right, but if you understand which organ, I was Edusa representative, representing School of Education. Somebody else was also representing School of Agriculture. Again, you have Ecomansa, you have NSA, Unugamsa, then you have SSA. These are sub-association. If my opponent cannot differentiate this sub-association and organs,
Mhm.
I don't see him someone who is qualified for this secretary general. It's not an issue.
Mhm.
He was mentioning something like IPRO. He was part of the IPRO Ministry 13 years council. He also mentioned that he was the deputy education research minister and they achieved so and so, which is very good. That's what Edusan want. People to come forward and implement their policies,
Mhm.
compliment to you. But I see my opponent as a rolling stone, and a rolling stone gather no most, jumping from one place to another place. He contested as IPRO, and again he lost to Jassy. He was compensated as the deputy research minister. Now he's here again for secretary general. Now, what is your experience? I'll be very happy if my opponent should contest as research minister. Myself will campaign for him because that's where he's good at.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? But for secretary general, that's the wrong place for him.
Yes, back to the question.
Back to the question.
Mm.
Now, what are the qualities that I have?
Mhm.
I serve as deputy clerk of the fifth legislative body of UDSU, which is the same function to that of Secretary General.
Mm.
I spent 40 months at LB as a deputy clerk, and it is not easy to be in that position because you are responsible of everything, holding the executive account, approval of the ministers appointed by the president, and then you interview the JT, you interview the EC, and again, I was part of the facilitators.
Mhm.
That trained Edusa LC. Now, if you observe the Edusa Constitution, there are some of the provisions that are in lacuna. Excuse my language. When it's a lacuna, it means it might confuse some people. You don't know what to do.
Mm.
Understand what I'm saying? I trained the Edusa LC about some of those things about the advisory board and the advisory board to appoint the LC and that will sell, etc., etc. But as time goes on, I will elaborate more on that. So I have that high skill and understanding of Edusa constitution and administration. Like I say, I
Mhm.
spent 15 years in teaching field and I taught in different schools.
Mm.
In 2009, I was teaching in Pakalanin Primary School. In 2010, I came to Gambia College. 13. 2012, I started in Ladukunda Sabiji. All these things are administrative works.
Mhm.
I taught in Greater Banjul, Karaba Senior Secondary School, Palameri Senior Secondary School, etc., etc. So I got a high experience and I have that interpersonal acumen and anthropological insight in me that I can do the work
Mm.
because I have that efficiency, like I always say. I have the proficiency, I have the competency, I have the honesty, and that excellency in me. I am the right guy for this position because of my track record and by virtue of being the former deputy clerk of the UTGSU,
Mm.
we resonate the function of the secretary general. Then I am the right candidate for this position.
Then you are the right candidate for this position. Honorable Sanu, you've heard from your opponent. Yes, what qualities do you have that you think Edusan should make you their SG?
All right. Thank you so very much. I think my qualities are not hidden
Okay.
and they are always expressed
Mm.
wherever I am. But just to set the record straight,
Mm.
and I repeat,
Mhm.
an individual who is sent by the School of Education
Mhm.
at the LB is not representing the School of Education at the LB.
Okay.
Is sent there as a representative of the association
Mm.
in the LB, but representing the general interest of the School of Education and every student in the University of the Gambia.
Mm.
Now, let me make this clear. Let's imagine you, Mumudu C. Sorry to put your name there.
It's
You
okay.
deserve honorable. If you have an issue as an Edusa that is taken to the LB, would the individual that is representing the School of Education see your interests first as opposed to another person that is from the School of Arts and Sciences? Let's say you have a class between us, between you and a student from the School of Arts and Sciences. They look at all of you as students of the University of the Gambia, not students from the School of Education. So this is why I want that to be very straight. And I know he has been for 28 months in the LB, but the fact is the fact. You are representing everybody. Now coming back to my
The qualities and your
qualities.
abilities.
Yes, first of all, I have served Edusa both in the 13th and in the 14th Executive Council. That has given me the institutional memory of that organization or that association. And again, in all the schools I serve, Muhammad Sanu Jallo served as the Secretary General of all the staff association and the staff members of every school I serve since I was in my teaching practice. And as I am speaking to you, I am the current Secretary General of the Hope Road Family, a registered association in the Upper River region. People are watching. I told you earlier, I am the sports secretary, and the sports secretary is a representative of the secretary of the Students' Union. So if someone can say Mamadou Sanu Jallo does not have those qualities to serve as a Secretary General, and I am an English language major who is not only comfortable with the English language, but also comfortable with the pen in putting the English language in letters. So Mamadou Sanu Jallo is a secretarial material that is willing and ready to serve. It doesn't mean how many, he said, I lost. Yes, I lost. And I lost honorably. I lost, but I didn't, say because I lose, I am going back and take the back seat. I came back to the council and work in the Education and Research Ministry. That was not a compensation. If that was a compensation, who is compensating who here? Am I compensating the council or the council is compensating me? Because I serve the council and achieve 100% of all the objectives that the minister of the Education and Research Minister designed for the council. Am I compensating the council or is the council compensating me? The other thing is, as a Secretary General, you have administrative responsibilities. The man sitting before Edusans here is the president of a whole region. Every student that is from the Upper River region and is here in any school you are, from SMAS to Edusa, is under Mamadou Sanu Jallo, under the URR Students Association. And that has given me the administrative skill to serve Edusa. Isn't that enough?
I ask you.
Isn't that enough? Edusan's answer. Isn't that enough for Mamadou Sanu Jallo to serve you as the Secretary General? A man who designed with a minister about 27 policies and achieve all of them in less than 11 months. So when I come as a secretary, with the institutional memory I have of that association, and when it comes to writing, everybody knows the rest will be history. There is no Edusan who has not at least read one of my articles or one of my short stories. And the Secretary General must be someone who is comfortable with the pen, not someone who would take centuries before you publish or before you write a piece. I write every day, and that is what is needed in the Education Students Association as a Secretary General, not someone who would tell you, I've written
one article, substandard. Not someone who will tell you, I've written one article, substandard. That is from Modu Sanujallo. Things are getting interesting, Edusans, and I believe, and I hope you are listening and you are gauging from their deliberations and you are differentiating and that you are identifying who is who. Yes, things are getting interesting, Mr. Ali. But then we have not started, in fact, because now we want to jump to the policies because Edusans they have heard what you did for them, and now it's your time. You want them to make you an SG. You have also told them what qualities you have, but now what policies do you have for them? What can you bring on the table?
Thank you very much. I think this is one of the most important questions that you have asked. But very quick and fast, I will remind my opponent that he does not still understand student government. When I was at LB, I was wearing two caps, Edusa representative and the deputy clerk. Edusa representative, I was representing School of Education. As the deputy clerk, I was representing the whole UTG, all the sub-association. It is important to understand the constitution. Everyone can know, but understanding is the key. Now, I wouldn't waste more time to, rectify so many of his mistakes because he mentioned he's an English major and so on. So, but very quick and fast. All those that are majoring in the other area like chemistry, physics, and biology can major English language. But not every English major can major English, can major agri or chemistry. Do you know why? Because if you don't have English language, you cannot have an entrance at university. That's a logical question. You need a secretary general who think logically. We also have sub-association like ESA. There is no English major. They have their SG, they have their IPRO. Come to Ecomansa. There is no English major there. They have their SG, they have their IPRO. Come to Science Student Association. The same thing. Not to waste more time, let me get to my policies. Now, policies are like a principle of guiding that helps someone to make your decisions. I see myself as a working policy. I make it happen and I talk about its sustainability. Now, if you look at the constitution, it is a constitution. You have 9 functions for the secretary general. But I check the records and I find out that the office of the secretary general, that is secretariat, is very functional. And it's like a marathon. The other council will come and they do something where they stop. The other council will take over from there. We should compliment and acknowledge the achievements that the other council have done equally, like the research ministry is talking about. I compliment him, but he's supposed to come as a research minister, not jump into IPR. How to call it? Secretary General from IPRO to research, from research to that of secretary, jumping like from one place to another, like a rolling stone that got enormous. I have two main policies, Edusans. I have the functional policies and that of the innovative policies. The functional policies is mandatory, whether you have it or not, as mentioned in the Constitution, Section 15, subsection 1, that the Secretary General is the principal corresponding officer, then strengthening communication between the council members. Another policy from the functional policy is quick response to educational matters, as mentioned in Section 15, subsection 2, that the Secretary General can draw the agenda. I will work with my president, consulting him in collaboration with the research minister to address all matters that is affecting students. I'm a tutor, I understand. Another one again, we have partners, stakeholders that the previous council established. No need for you to establish another one again if it is available. We talk about sustainability, to maintain it. It is also part of the function of the Secretary General. Another one again is the responsibility of the Secretary General to collaborate with the faculty officer to have the database. We already have the database. No need for me or any other person to create database again. You just update it. Another function that is a functional policies that I have is to have up-to-date lists of students. It's one of my policies. It is very important. As Secretary General, if you understand your role, if you have that list will help the finance minister to know the students that do not pay their dues. You must have the scope of the number of students available, that active students. We have the list from the database from the faculty office in collaboration with the finance minister. You know the number of students that do not pay. You can pin them down. You can pin them their names. You also have logistic in collaboration with the logistic minister. If you know the number of students from that list, then you will know how to cater them in an event. Equally to the minister of welfare ministry when it comes to budgeting. Like I will say, food is bad. You know, if you have this list, it will help you. Without wasting more time, let me give you 2 or 3 of my innovative policies. I don't only want to come as a secretary general to make records. I want to leave a legacy as collective work. I can't do it alone. The secretary general is an engine, and I'm a workaholic. Like I said earlier, I'm a working policy. One of the policy that I have, innovative, we have so many outstanding students that are graduating with magna summa cum laude. Those students, I will advocate. I repeat again, advocate the recruitment of those outstanding students so they can become graduate assistants. Another innovative policy. I know my Edusans are enjoying me. I am Mr. Ali of all people, by the people and for the people. As I'm talking in styles and grand styles and over styles, I have a lot of innovative policies. Another innovative policy that I have is the establishment of magazine, booklet, and pamphlet. If you check the Constitution, Section 9, subsection 4, it said that we should sell the agenda of Edusa in the form of magazine, booklet, and pamphlet. It is there. We have experts. My opponent is a writer. I will bring him. I will capture his articles to sell the agenda of Edusa. Another one again. I have other policies. Another time will allow me. And by God's grace, I will achieve all these policies when we are voted into office with team riders and candidates. Another innovative policy that I have is incentives for participation. We have so many outstanding students out there who volunteer and help students. Many people like Mr. Ali, they are out there, including him, including other person. They help students when it comes to tutorial. But if you compensate them like incentive, you give them something like a prize, like award or certificate to motivate them. We have some students from School of Education that volunteer and donate footballs, some donate jerseys. They can be recognized. And again, when it comes to the council, as the Secretary General, you are the engine, you are responsible because you are the corresponding principal corresponding officer as mentioned in section 1 of subsection 1 of section 15, that you are the principal corresponding officer. Now, the outstanding ministers who are doing work on daily basis, then you can, give them incentives to motivate them. Another one again, 2 more. I know I have many, but you can excuse me because it's important for you to know that the policies I have before you start voting for Mr. Aliu, you have to know my capabilities. Spending 15 years in teaching sector, spending 14 months at LB as a deputy clerk, it's not a small thing. This experience must be executed and charity begins at home. Edusans, I'm here for you. Edusa must not die. Two more. Quarterly reports about the activity plans of the council. The Secretary General is responsible of drawing the activity plans. Now, you have to review those plans, whether you are going fine or you are not going fine, and this will help the Auditor General in his report. And I don't know whether I can still give more whether time is there.
Now maybe you can give. Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you very much. My Edusans and fellow students of University of the Gambia, I want Edusa to become the epitome of excellence. I want other sub-associations to copy from us. I went to college in 2010. Probably my opponent was in upper basic school. Probably. So that experience that I learned from college, obviously, I cannot leave those experience behind. Spending 15 years in teaching field. Now I'm at the University of the Gambia. Obviously, I must put those things in place. That's why I'm talking comfortable like this, because I have the experience. You understand what I'm saying? So these are some of the policies. You have the functional policies and that of the innovative policies, and the rest come convention day. I will give rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, it was a marathon of policies and very interesting policies. I am sure if all these heads are put together and if all these policies are put together, we will see Edusa where we want it to be. Back to Momodu Sanujano, Honorable. Yes, Honorable. What policies do you have for Edusans? Why should Edusans vote for you?
Well, thank you so much. And I must thank my brother for acknowledging that
Mm.
I am an apt writer.
Yeah.
And I must also thank him for acknowledging that he worked under me as a tutor.
Mm.
I did not say that.
I must also acknowledge that
I did not say that.
he said English language majors cannot major in other areas.
I didn't say that.
He said that. But agric majors can major English.
Mm.
I don't know where is the academic evidence about that because I am an agriculture minor in the University of the Gambia,
It's my.
but I was
The
an
mic.
agriculture major at the Gambia College,
Mm.
and so is for so many people. But I just want to tell him there is a difference between majoring English
Mm.
and a difference between between knowing the English language
Mm.
and between being an English language secretary, because every secretary must have a language. And for you to be able to communicate with the people, you must be comfortable semantically in that language.
Mm.
Syntactically, you are an English major and
Mm.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if he says that, that is fine. But the fact is, I am an English major and I am an English major with substance.
Mm.
Now coming to my policies. I was enjoying him reading the functions of the Secretary General. Those are not policies. Edusans, be mindful. Those are not policies. Those are just functions. If you get into the council and you don't do that, you have failed, the council have failed, and everybody in Edusa has failed. Those are the functions. And I am not here to tell you my functions because my functions as the Secretary General is known to me
Mm.
even when you wake me from a deep sleep.
Mm.
What I have for the Education Students Association is this.
Mhm.
First is collaboration. Everybody in the School of Education knows Mamadou Sanu Jallo is a very good collaborator, someone who has collaborated with a minister in a ministry and produced internship program.
Mm.
So I can use the Secretary General, which is in fact the main function of that position in the council, is to collaborate, is to have collaboration, memorandum of understandings, sign agreements
Mhm.
with the institutions outside, because this association is not a profit making association.
That's right.
It can only tap funds from donors, that is outside. It can tap minimum funds from the School of Education, from the small programs that they organize, and that
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
through the social and welfare minister, not the secretary. The bigger chunk of the funds in the association, whether it is a nationwide tour, whether it is the Edusa Week, comes from outside.
Mhm.
And it takes a very good communicator, a very good collaborator to do that. And that is what I have done when I was the Deputy Education and Research Minister, even though he said I was compensated for that position, but I was compensating Edusa as well. And I was compensating the council as well.
Mhm.
So that is it. First, we will continue what I have done as the deputy education and research minister. We will continue to collaborate. If you look at the School of Education, I have been singing this. We are educators.
Mhm.
Some of us obviously are going back to the classroom. Some of us obviously are not going back to the classroom. Some of us are going to the regional offices. Some of us are going to be cluster monitors. Some of us are going to be curriculum experts. Some of us are going to be subject experts in different levels of
Of
the
education.
ministry
Mhm.
and different parts of the red offices in the Gambia.
Mhm.
So, to give the School of Education students an opportunity to go and learn, to augment their skills in these areas, I think this is very necessary and it should be something that the council should put in the center of its activities.
Mm.
Having me as a secretary general, I will be on my toes day, night, and midday to go into agreement, to collaborate with the ministers, the education and research minister, and my president and vice president to lobby for students in the School of Education to go into internship programs into these different institutions. It is possible. We've done it. We can do it. These are institutions that are preparing us to go back and serve them. Why shouldn't they welcome us to go and have internship and have experience related to what we are coming to do in those various offices? I am not saying it would be paid internship, but where necessary, if not all education students, but some can have the opportunity. That is number one policy. Second, I am not giving you my functions. These are things that I will do in the council.
Okay.
Second, in Edusa, if you look at it, the constitution covers everybody, and everybody is responsive and should be responsive and should answer to the constitution. But what is happening is many people are not au fait with the constitution, and that include even serving council members. He claimed to be for ages in the legislative body of the students union. Yes. When I come into office as the Secretary General of the 15th Executive Council, I will work with the advisory board, which is the only competent body in the School of Education to interpret the laws of the School of Education, and also work with the legislative body, that is the Legislative Council of Edusa, to make sure these laws, trainings are organized for people to understand, because citizens respect their laws when they know the laws. And when you don't know a law and you offend according to the law, you will be punished, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So I am giving the School of Education the opportunity to bring these organs together and make sure the School of Education is oriented about the Constitution. Currently, to give you a very classical example, we are here. Honorable Suleiman Baji was suspended because he engaged in political activity. Yes, but you are a minister and you are here moderating a political activity. Now, where is this inconsistency, political inconsistency coming from? This is what I want the School of Education to understand. Right now, I would expect that the Honorable President, after this program, will suspend you. Yes, because if Suleiman Baji, who has not been featured live, was being suspended because of a political camp which does not even exist in the School of Education, aligns itself with him, was suspended.
Yes, but then here I'm not taking part in any of the camps, right?
But not the Constitution says you should not remain. You should not be political. That is not even the Constitution. That is the Code of Conduct. You should not associate yourself with politics.
With any political
with
camp.
any politics. But if a council is saying that no member, council member, should align itself, should be political, why is the council participating in political activities? What I expected was having the IPRO of the Electoral Commission, which is the only competent body to conduct this. In fact, to put these three records right, I wanted to reject this because this, according to them, is unconstitutional. But if I reject it, it would paint a different picture. What I was expecting is the EC to conduct this, just like the EC is the competent body to conduct convention. Why is the EC conducting convention? So these are the things that we want to make sure Edusans understand. The Constitution is not understood. The SG, the report says the association has 3 organs. The association does not have 3 organs. The association has 5 organs. So these, it is not because people are abusing the laws because they want to, it's because they don't know. So that is my second policy, to make sure I work with these organs in the School of Education to have constant update, to orient people about this Constitution. The Constitution is only alive when people adhere to it, and it's only alive when it is justly served. The other thing is partnership. The School of Education has a lot of partners. It is important to maintain those partners, as the Honorable Sane said. It's very important to maintain those partners because for sustainability, they need to be maintained. But also, there is a need for us to have international partnership. And these international partnership would expose the School of Education to outside, to have experience. For example, there is currently a pending partnership with the University of at Ziganshore. So when I come into office, I will make sure I work with the Education and Research Minister, the Social and Welfare, the Gender and Health, and other ministries in the same council to have these realized. Because partnership is as important as the association. This is what these are some of the things, but others I will discuss them with the delegates at the convention. And Mamadou Sanu Jallo is a secretary material that Edusan should not afford to miss. And Honorable Mamadou Sanu Jallo has the right, has the ability, and I have the wherewithal to collaborate, to partner, to write, to discuss, and any function that is highlighted in that constitution as per the position I am applying for, I am more than capable to execute my functions amicably without fear, favor, ill will, or complacency. Thank you so very much.
Wow, it is a roller coaster already, and we have heard from policies, attainable policies, and policies that will see Edusa forward, and then will see to the fact that Edusa is out there as one of the best sub-association in the University of Gambia. For the records, we have been there, we have been recognized as the best association, that is this past SU. Yes, they've recognized Edusans. So these candidates here, they want to continue that. They want to continue the progressive nature of Edusa. This is why they're here today. This is why they're asking for your vote. That has been a very good one. I think we will just leave the rest for the convention night. So finally, Mr. Asane, what do you have there for the Edusans as a final message?
All right, thank you very much, Mr. C. I really appreciate the 14th Executive Council because this is a clear testimony of democracy. If a council member does not acknowledge the IPRO ministry, I think Edusans will really see them in the other way around because my opponent is speaking so and so, and you can watch the video and then see the policies he mentioned. It does not pass even three. You don't know, he does not know the difference between the functional policies and that of the innovative policies. I thank God that he mentioned about the law, the constitution. Somebody like Mr. Aliu, the former deputy clerk of Fifth Legislative Body, who spent 40 months, you cannot mention law to that party. I serve as a facilitator. I train the Edusa LC, the advisory board, the LC, those organs. I understand them very, very well. But what I want to tell Edusans, it is always important to acknowledge, like I acknowledge his ministry, that's Ministry of Research, the great job that they have done. It's not an individual work, but it's a collective work. But if he does not acknowledge the president and the secretary general, and he want to be the secretary general, it's very illogical. You acknowledge your boss because you are the deputy research minister, and you don't acknowledge the secretary general and the president. That is a teamwork. You want also trust him with this position? Come on. This is not even about politics. It's about appreciating, and it's a teamwork. You have to appreciate the IPRO ministry. You have to appreciate the Secretary General, the current Secretary General. You have to appreciate the Vice President. You have to appreciate the President. You have to appreciate the 14th Executive Council. Like I appreciate the 14th Executive Council. As your former Edusa representative, as a former Deputy Clerk of the 5th Legislative Body of UTTSU, that we do oversight functions. I have those skills and I compliment them. And I want to thank them again for showing Edusa to the rest of the sub-association that Edusa is the epitome of excellence. And what I want to tell Edusans, that the politics is getting unhealthy by a few Edusans. I have been character assassinated. I have been insulted. We have pseudo accounts. They are saying, is Mr. Aliu, I am a leader. I forgive all of them. And I want all Edusans to come together and condemn this kind of unbehavior, this kind of uncommon behavior, because it's tarnishing the image of Edusa. We have more than 1,000 students to close to 2,000 students. 2 or 3 students are tarnishing our image. We have to come together. This is beyond politics, because the country of the Gambia cannot entrust their kids with us if we are behaving like this. When I serve at LB, the whole UTG respect me. Not only that, I volunteer to do a lot of things. Not only that, because I'm representing School of Education, I'm representing the whole of teachers. I took part in mediating the 21st Executive Council to that of the 22nd Executive Council after that brouhaha of the Congress. It was us, the LB, that moderated that. If I took part to mediate and bring two Executive Council to come together for handing over at the main union, it will be very easy for me to do the justice for only one sub association. And I would like to give free lectures to my opponent because he does not understand anything about the constitution. He does not understand the functions of the Secretary General. He does not understand the role of the advisory board in the expense of the JT. He does not understand the role of LC at the expense of LB. He does not understand the role of IPRO ministry moderating, taking as political. Come on, Edusans. Let's just observe. To be a Secretary General, you must be somebody who is a great thinker to analyze and listen. He was not listening when I was talking. He was misquoting my statements. If he's voting in the office, then we'll be misquoting the voice of the fellow ministers. I said earlier, if you don't have English language, you cannot have an entrance at the UTG, which is true. Not all those that are doing English language do agree in senior school or chemistry. But all those that are doing agriculture or chemistry, they have English language. This is what I say. But my opponent is not a great listener. And one of the functions of the Secretary General, as mentioned in section 15, subsection 1, you are the principal corresponding officer. You must be able to communicate. If you are not a great listener, my opponent, Muhammad Sano, it will be difficult to do justice.
Finally.
Finally, I thank Edusans. I want them to trust Team Renaissance and vote for us in office come on Tuesday. And vote massively, not smallly, massively. Mr. All of all people, by the people, and for the people. As I'm talking in styles, grand styles and over styles. Team Renaissance is the solution. Thanks once again. And I thank my opponent for accepting this debate.
Thank you so very much. I thank my opponent for accepting this debate. Mohamed Sani Jallow, final notes.
On a final note, I must tell him I have not contradicted him in any way whatsoever. What he said is what I put, and the records have it. People can listen. So the other thing is, he said I do not understand the functions of the Secretary General. What I said was, I am not going to tell Edusans what he is telling them. That is the functions of the Secretary General. Why should I repeat that if I am applying for a position? Come on, I was in the 13th and the 14th Executive Council. All this, the Constitution and the functions of different organs in the Constitution is on my palm. I understand it, every tick and tin, without a scintilla or an iota of even looking at a constitution and having two minds about it. The other thing is, he claimed to be a constitutional guru, let me put it that way, because he was at the fifth legislative body. And I repeat, the fifth legislative body, you are not representing Edusa. You are representing everybody, because it is everybody's interest that go there. You don't see Edusa at the LC. And this I must put straight. The other thing is, he said he understands the constitution and he abide by it. But Edusans, you can bear me witness, this individual sitting before you was at LB, and he came down to participate in politics, and he was going against the individual he was saying has character assassinated him. Even if it is not constitutional, but it is not morally binding for someone who is serving, as he claimed, 11 association. That is more than 7,000 people. You brought yourself so low as a representative of Edusa, tarnishing the image of the School of Education, that going against a candidate in politics, in fact, even going to the extent of telling that candidate, I will use my influence. Let me quote him. I will use my influence that I don't know, to make sure even a class rep position you don't have in the School of Education. That is derogatory, that is demeaning, and that is unexpected of any LB member. The sixth LB currently, you would not see even a single individual participating. And I have not seen in the fifth LB a single member, except their deputy, so-called deputy clerk, participating in elections, even going against candidates, supporting other candidates. What would you expect if Fatoumata Nyang, sorry to mention, and Yunus Ambai had a class in that election, and they go to meet the LB, to the LB at the SU? Would this man be so honorable to face Yunusa and tell him, you are wrong against Fatoumata Nyang? These are the inconsistencies that this individual is bringing to you. And if Edusa wish to put the same individual who has tarnished the image of Edusa that he claimed to men, someone who has gone against his own Edusan, gone against the code of conduct of the fifth LB, that is a man that you cannot trust. This is the truth. And Chinua Achebe said, in the ants hills of the savannah, a man must not swallow his cough because he fears that he will disturb others. You mentioned that I did not acknowledge the council. I acknowledge the council. I have 100% activities implemented. I don't brag. I don't tell people this is what I do. I tell people this is what I can do for you. And once you put me into office, I will do exactly that. Honorable Bire is one of the most dedicated members of that council. He has served Edusa with utmost respect and due diligence.
Yeah, with time, finally.
So finally, Edusans, this is a man with integrity. Since the election started, nobody cracked to assassinate me because I have done nothing wrong to anybody. And here is a man who everybody has a but about him. And it is your choice to put an individual who has no dirty learning than someone who has one that need to be washed before he got, because he failed Edusa at the LC, he went and participated in election at the LB, and he went and participated in election and going against candidates that are likely to meet him at the LB. So with that, I thank you. The decision is yours. Faraba is orange. SCC is orange. Edusa should be orange and must be orange. The wind of change has blown. And this year, inshallah, this is the light. This is the touch. And he who holds the touch for others in darkness must and shall never be in darkness himself. I thank you all for your kind attention, and I thank my honorable member.
Definitely. Definitely. It has been an interesting debate, and to hear more of this, come convention day, we will have them display their policies. We will have them talk about their policies. We as Edusans, we will scrutinize them and then see the best candidates, because this is what we want. Like I always say, these people are not enemies. They are political opponents. So you, the militants, you should be the ones that should help them, because they need your vote. So they cannot go and then ask for your votes without telling you what they have for you. That is all for the general well-being of Edusans and Edusa. So until we come your way for the next batch, thank you, and then God bless Edusa, and Edusa must not die. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.